now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, Paul, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone. And this is your turn to sound off and air your opinions over the events of the day. 412-575-2600. That is the number to call. You can also tweet me tonight as I'm riding solo at KD Pomp. Want to remind you about the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown tonight. It'll be on late tonight because of the CBS doubleheader football we had. Everything else got pushed back, so we're looking at that to start after the late news. That begins at 11:45. Our show won't be beginning until 12:20-ish tonight. But on it, Ron Cook, Colin Dunlap, as well as Jason Mackey. Boy, we have a lot to talk about this week. It started with today with the Pirates, who really, I think, stunned people. Not that the firing of Clint Hurdle was stunning. I think a lot of people expected it. But it didn't include more, quite frankly. And the timing of it also raises questions. This was supposed to be Steve Blass' weekend. A tremendous amount of fanfare for Blass. 60 years on the job, 6 decades. Certainly a man who leaves a huge legacy, will be honored next year as the first into the Pirates Hall of Fame, newly established. And yet, right before Clint Hurdle is done with the media, going about his normal business out of the blue, he was talking as if he was going to be back. And then we thought, okay, everyone's going to be back, and they're just going to continue because these guys have 2 years left on a contract. And Neil Huntington immediately ended that. And then in a press conference that was pretty quickly put together, he addressed that, said we're all to blame. But, you know, the one thing is that Bob Nutting chose not to blame the man who's overseeing everything, Neil Huntington. And if you're going to make changes, you would think it would start there, given the fact that he oversees all of that, the drafting, the development, the fact that there hasn't been a whole bunch of infusion of talent through the draft in the 12 years here. And so here they are now in a situation where they're going to look for a new manager. And most likely it'll be someone who will fit whatever budget they have in mind. You know, listen, as I've said many times, the whole thing to me starts with an owner who's willing to spend more money. I don't doubt that Bob Nutting wants to win. Everyone wants to win if you're in that boat. But you have to show a commitment to winning. You have to show that you're willing to put your money where your mouth is. If you really want to win, you've got to, at times, spend more than you do. And I'm not suggesting going out and sign Garrett Cole to a $250 million contract, because he may get one after the season he's put together. What I am suggesting is when you do have holes, fill them. Go out and spend some money to fill the holes and take some of the pressure off what you have. They had all sorts of issues, and they never solved those issues. They got worse. And now you wonder what they're going to do next year going into it, because they need a whole bunch of pitching help, and they don't have anyone on the horizon. Mitch Keller could be the man to be 1 or 2, maybe, but we don't know that for sure after all this time. He was up and down. Everyone else on that rotation was up and down. That's an honest assessment of where they are. None of them are 1, none of them are 2. Most of them are 3 or 4 or 5. You need help there. Who will it be? How much will they spend to change that? Listen, they need help in a lot of different places. They have a good young nucleus to build around on position players, but they need to support it and do more. Which also leads to the question, if you're not willing to spend money, what do you do? Do you trade players right now who do have some upside, who've come off good seasons? And I think of Josh Bell, because I don't think anyone believes that down the road Josh Bell will sign here long term. So if his value is high and you think you can address your pitch, because quite frankly, pitching is the #1 thing. The teams that do well pitch well. You know, look at Mike Trout in Anaheim. Their team has had Mike Trout. They've had Pujols. They've had Ohtani. They've had a lot of talent. But they don't have pitching. Their pitching has always failed them. And so they've wasted, what is it, the first 7 years of Mike Trout, okay? Then you look at Philadelphia. They went in this offseason, spent $50 million on Andrew McCutchen, $350 million on Bryce Harper. But guess what? They didn't add to Aaron Nola. So they have no pitching. Pitching kills you, or it can make you. And that's what I think it has to start with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're here to talk about that. It's 412-575-2600. That is the number to call. You can tweet me at KD Pomp, as I said. We'll talk about that. We also have a big Steeler game tomorrow against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'd like to get your take on that. For Week 4, it's as must-win as you can get. And I say that only because in the history of the NFL, there has only been one team that has ever started 0-4 and gone to the playoffs, and that would be San Diego Chargers in 1992. So the odds are clearly stacked against you. However, in this division in which they reside, the AFC North, we saw today that Baltimore may not be as good as you thought they were after a 2-0 start. Lamar Jackson struggles under pressure. He's running a lot. He could get injured. On top of that, their defense has been shredded the last 2 weeks, in which they've given up 500 yards in each game. So that's a problem for Baltimore. Cleveland, on the other hand, up and down. They have a tough schedule. They're both 2-2. If the Steelers should win tomorrow, they'll be 1-3 and still have the entire division ahead of them. So there's a lot to play for, but Cincinnati's in the same dire position. They need to win as well. We'll talk about that. Call, air your opinions, and the start of Penguin season Thursday. But they got some injuries to deal with. They also have to get under the cap. Trade rumors circulating. We have a lot to get into. 412-575-2600 is your place to sound off. Do it now. Do it live right here on Pittsburgh CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.